All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first video of the semester, so let's make sure we get everything off to a great start. My recommendation right now is to make sure you have out your note sheet. I handed you a copy in class, or you can go online to print one out, but it'd be a really good idea for you to write down the information you see as we go through. So if you need to go find it in your backpack or print a new one out, go ahead and pause right now, so that way you can take good notes while you watch this video. Okay, I'm going to assume you have that sheet out. Let's go ahead and get started. At the beginning of each of my videos this semester, I'm going to try to include a learning checklist. These are a series of questions you should be able to answer at the end of this film. I will go over very explicitly and specifically each of these questions. So if you don't know the answers to these at the end, you should come back and rewatch this video. Further, these kind of show checkpoints, what we're going to work through in order to help you gauge where we are in the video. So our first question today is, what is DNA shape? And if you look on your note sheet, that's the top item under DNA structure as well. So DNA shape, we call it a double helix. It looks like this staircase that wraps around. There, it's spelled out for you right there, double helix. You can pause the film if you need more time to write it down, but you need to make sure you know the name of this shape is the double helix. Some key parts with this is you have the backbone. That's the blue and red parts right here. And we have the bases in the middle. So the individual pieces that we have are nucleotides. So nucleotide contains a phosphate, a sugar, and a base. You'll notice this deoxyribose. That's because DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. This is the type of sugar that's found in DNA. So once again, the three main pieces are phosphate, sugar, and base. If you look on your note sheet, you have 3 bullet points to write that in. On top of those 3 bullet points, it says the individual pieces of DNA are called, and there's a blank. That blank, you need to write nucleotides in there. Okay? So DNA is made of nucleotides like this. The next question asks for the 4 bases of DNA. Our 4 bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. But sometimes scientists are lazy, and this would take forever to write out this word every time you use it. And each base will be used multiple times, millions of times in your genetic code. And so instead of writing out adenine every single time, we abbreviate it with the first letter, A. G with G, cytosine with C, thymine with T. Look on your note sheet. Your third question says the 4 bases of DNA. They're abbreviations. So in each line, you need to write the name, and in parentheses, put its abbreviation that we'll use. Our next question asks us, so adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. The next one asks which bases are complementary. When things are complementary, they go together, okay? They're going to be paired off. In DNA, A always pairs with T, C always pairs with G. I always think that A and T, they're made of all straight lines, okay? So those are going to go together. C and G have curvy lines. So if you can remember the curvy letters together and the straight letters together, make sure you write those down, how those pair together. Okay, back to our DNA model. We said earlier that these are the backbone and these are the bases. If you look at the structure of your nucleotide again, you should have sketched a picture earlier. The backbone is, the bases are this part right here, and the sugar and phosphate make up the backbone. So here's a model that shows you more specifically what DNA looks like. You can draw this model in the second box if you'd like. You can see the sugar and phosphates alternating make up the backbone, and attached to the sugar are the different bases. Our sugar, once again, for DNA is deoxyribose. There's our sugar and our phosphate. They go back and forth, back and forth. It's really important you know that. Okay, what holds our strands together? When we talk about DNA or any nucleic acid, we're going to talk about strands. And so this part right here is 1 strand, and this part right here is 2 strands, the second strand. You can see these 2 strands are connected in this diagram by these blue lines. What do these blue lines represent? We call them, there's our nucleotide. We see our phosphate and sugar, and coming off our sugar is our base. So what holds our strands together? Hydrogen bonds. So hydrogen bonds are going to hold the two pieces together. Okay, here's our learning checklist. Let's go through and make sure you have these answers. If you don't know it, go back, rewatch the video, and try writing the information down again. DNA shape? That's right, it's the double helix. Number 2, what are the individual pieces called? If you said nucleotides, you were correct. The next question, what are the 4 bases in DNA? The answer is adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Which bases are complementary or go together? That's A and T, because they're the ones made with straight lines, and C and G, the ones with curvy lines. Next question is, what is the backbone made of? That's right, it's alternating phosphates and sugars. And the last question is, what holds our strands together? If you said hydrogen bonds, you're correct. All of these are key pieces of information. You're going to see them show up time and time again. So make sure you have them written down on your note sheet, make sure you memorize them and you know this information so that way you can use it to help you with your different challenges in class. Thanks for completing your homework, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.